Yes, hello. I think the future of the technology in probation can be many things, but definitely it can be a supportive tool for our core work and the core work we do with clients in probation. But as well, it's very useful when we talk about cooperation in the criminal justice chain. So how to optimize the opportunities technology can provide also for the co-work between different partners in this criminal justice chain. And technology is very good for keeping in contact with different kind of people, service providers, and as well if we think about the client and his or her family and children, and if we have different kind of living areas where, for instance, it's not that easy to travel to meet someone, either your family member or your service provider or your probation officer. So I think to use those as helpful tools to conduct the core business we do in probation, that's, I think, is the future. I don't see the technology as much as an opportunity to reduce the work we do in probation, or I hope it will not be that kind of trend we will see in the future. If we are wise about technology, I think we can optimize the good things that support our core values in probation. But of course, we need to be observant. We need to understand technology, and the future with technology is good if you have a little bit time to look into what's going on in the technical field and you understand how they function. And then also you ask your clients of the use, what would they like to use? What would they think would be beneficial? And if you do this kind of technical development together with the clients as well as with other co-partners in your work, I think that's the most fruitful way to go forward also in the future, because then we make sure that we are not developing something which is not actually helping us. It can be more like a obstacle, or it can take too much time to use that from the core work we want to do. So opportunities are very well, but we need to be well aware of the possibilities, and also to make some kind of decisions how we want to use it. That also will be beneficial for the probation in its essence. That's, I think, is very important with the technology. So future is good, I think, if we are wise and we have enough knowledge about technology. Yes. Well, of course, we use a lot of digital platforms just to make contact with either between staffs, or we do a lot of staff training by using digital platforms, either that we are live on the digital platform or we have built in education program in a platform, or they can be connected to each other, that some parts are live and some are this kind of already made in the educational platform. The other thing we use a lot is nowadays is this digital platforms for our rehabilitative and treatment work. So we can actually even have, and we have built these structured programs which takes many weeks on digital platforms, and the client access that platform, and the probation officer, or some kind of, if it's a psychological program, we can have a psychologist contacting the client in the platform, and the dialogue is going on the platform, and there is also some things and modules that the client, him or herself, just work on, and then we look on to them together through the platform. And then of course we use EM, Electronic Monitoring, which is, I think, digitalization as well. And now we are looking for more kind of different kind of solutions of how to use electronic monitoring. And I think this, that we have the smartphone as a device, is a very user-friendly approach in electronic monitoring as well, that we can have these kind of smartphones with EM program and apps in that. We are building a probation app in Finland at the moment. We have been doing that, we started that several years ago, but then we had to stop that for some years, that project, and now we are finalizing it. And that, I think, is going to be very fruitful for the connection between probation officer and the client. It's more like a, how do you say, consumer kind of way of doing that you use in other context in your life. So I think that fits very well in the probation, and is very much according to probation values as well, to normality principles and so forth. And we use we are now trying to find new ways of also training staff, like doing this kind of digital dialogue approach, which is a little bit of gambling features as well. So I find this very fascinating. I think this is something we need to provide also for our younger generation of probation officers who are more comfortable, I think, with digitalization than, for instance, my generation. So I think we need also to keep up with these kind of things, that we provide tools that are according to that level that the staff normally are used to use. And then we of course have artificial intelligence. So we are starting very small with that. We are trying to use algorithms to help us to give some proposals about the risk needs and setting of goals in the sentence plan. So these projects will start soon. So that's interesting to see how it goes. But once again, I think we need to be knowledgeable users of technology, and artificial intelligence is one of those parts where I think we need to be wise and understand the word of that world very well before we start to use it very much. And then we use, of course, electronic monitoring in many ways in Finland, which I think is something we need to discuss. But the future is there. I think that the electronic monitoring is here to stay. The thing what might change is the devices. But I think like the data system and all that can be quite similar in the future as well. But I think the devices part will change very quickly, actually. I think that will happen. These were some examples how we use digitalization in our country. And we have some more, but this was some examples of those.